So the modern science is saying there is something called as a constructional theory, that if you look at any design on this planet, whether it's a single-celled organism or any other creature or a leaf or a cell in a plant or the human system, the fundamental design is still the same. The complexity and sophistication is multiplying manifold over, but essential design is same. Or in other words, what we call as life on this planet is a part of the carbon cycle that's happening. In this carbon cycle, soil is the most important link in the chain of carbon cycle, and that has worn thin. What is wearing the soil thin means? See, today, as you sit here, over 60% of your very body that you carry is microorganisms. Only 40% are your parental genetics. I saw that little girl in Sofia on the video, and this girl came to me and said, Sadhguru, I want to do save soil, but my mother boo-boo-boo. I said, please tell your mother she's only 20%. That's it also. Only 20% of your genetics your mother, another 20% your father. Fundamentally, life is happening to you because of the foundational life that's happening in the soil. This is the fundamental life. To give you some perspective, scientists say somewhere between 600 to 800 million years ago, you were there. At that time, one smart algae or a fungi, we don't know which one. It's like, we don't know how many years ago, thousands of years ago, a caveman or a cave woman these days, you can't live them out. But nowhere there's a reference to a cave woman, because caveman essentially means a crude man who's like that. But it looks like women were always reasonably not so cavey. So, we don't know whether a caveman or a woman discovered the way of how to cook our food using fire, controlling fire within our homes. Oh, that's changed everything about our lives, isn't it? The way we eat and the way we exist. Similarly, one smart algae or fungi, we don't know which one of them came up with this idea of cooking their food using the perpetual energy of the sun. This phenomenon of cooking their food using the sun's energy, today we refer to as photosynthesis. Before the phenomenon of photosynthesis started, the average oxygen content in our atmosphere was just a shade over 1%. Today it is 21%. It's a little less in this hall, but average is 21%. And even if you're wearing a mask, you're able to breathe because it's 21%. It's not about today we breathing and existing. The very reason that such a complex life could evolve is only because of the oxygen content in the atmosphere. Otherwise, life would have been very rudimentary and simple. So this phenomenon of photosynthesis means essentially it is oxygen manufacturing factory on the planet. You all oxygen breathing or carbon dioxide? Tell me, I don't know which kind you are.
Oxygen! O2!
Yeah. But in the last 1,000 years, we have removed 85% of photosynthesis on this planet. What's our plan really? For ourselves and for future generations, what is our plan? 85% of photosynthesis on the planet has been removed. We call this development. Well, we need many things, that's not the point, but we need to understand without ecological stability on the planet, life will not happen. Our idea, right now everybody is talking about, in 2000 or just after 2000, When I spoke in the United Nations, I told them I have come here to officiate the marriage of ecology and economy because you guys are thinking these two are competing forces. There is no such thing as ecology versus economy. This is like this. You are living on open land, then you saw the need for shelter, so you built one floor, one nice house for yourself. Then a need came, you had to build the second floor. Then you started pulling out the foundation stones and started building the second floor. You know what will happen to your house. This is exactly what's happening to the world right now. Ecology is the base, economy is on top of it. If you pull out the foundation stones of ecology, there is not going to be any economy. Whatever economies we have built, whatever very perceptional marketplaces we have built, can all collapse in no time once there is a little bit of food shortage on the planet. I want you to just imagine, in Kathmandu city, if 40% of the people have not eaten for the last 3 days, do you think you can come here and sit in this event? Do you think you can go to your office? Do you think your children can go to school? Do you think anything that you are doing right now will be possible for you? Civilization will collapse. What we have created in 1,000 years, in 3 days' time it will collapse once there are food shortages. We must understand this is not something new. Whether it's Nepal or India or European nations or East European nations, Central Asia, Arabia, even North America, is not a stranger to famines in the past. Till 40s and 50s, 1950s, we've seen famines. Some of those famines were terrible, which took millions of people. 1943 famine in India took 3.2 billion people in 4 months' time. Famine is the worst way to die for a human being. A war is so much better. Either somebody will shoot you or bomb you or take off your head, something will happen. Famine is a slow fate. 3 to 4 months, you will die in a most terrible way. And this is not new to us. 2 generations ago, people have faced this repeatedly, again and again. But after all this infrastructure, after all this education, information, technology, once again we are driving towards famine, global famines. This year, 7 nations are going into famine conditions. This year, 39 million people right now are seriously in famine situation. It is expected in the next 4 months, 360,000 children below 8 years of age will die without food simply because World Food Program has thrown up its hands and said, we are not able to provide food for these children because there is no money, everything has gone to the war effort elsewhere. So, as human beings, how do we just sit around and think that, it's all right, they're dying somewhere else? That is not the nature of a human being. The reason why a human being is evolved to this place is because we can think inclusively. We are not functioning instinctively for our survival. We can think consciously, inclusively, where our sense of well-being is far more inclusive than any other creature on this planet. This is only possible for a human being. You are the only one who is referred to as a being. We don't call a tiger being, an elephant being, ant an ant being, no such thing. Only you are referred to as a being because you are supposed to know how to be. You are supposed to know. I did not say you know. If you knew how to be, if you really knew how to be, would you choose to be blissed out or miserable? What's your choice? Now, from now on I'll ask a few questions. You can either say yes, no or silence. All 3 I will bless. It's up to you. If you had a choice between being blissed out and miserable, what is your choice for yourself? Yeah. What you want for your neighbor sometimes may be debatable. But what you want for yourself is 100% clear, isn't it? Highest level of pleasantness. You want highest level of pleasantness for yourself. Why something so simple is not happening? It is not happening because you heard about that potato farmer? No? Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, it's not the way. There is a certain way to listen to a story. Once upon a time, Once upon a time, there was a potato farmer. One day, he wanted to eat apples.
Wow!
What did he want to eat? So he went in search of an apple tree, and then he found an apple tree.
Wow!
Now, he went to the apple tree, but being a potato farmer out of sheer habit, he started digging the ground for apples. He dug. When he did not find any apples there, he dug furiously. After some time, the tree came down on him. This is the story of humanity right now. These things have happened. These things which are fundamental to our existence are being destroyed not because of some evil force. This is happening in search of human well-being, in search of human happiness above all. In pursuit of happiness, we have done this. Now I'm asking you a simple question. Whenever you've been happy or miserable, whichever way you've been, did it happen from within you or did it rain upon you? Whether joy or misery happened from within you, pain and pleasure happened from within you, agony and ecstasy happened from within you. You have never experienced anything outside of yourself. Just look at this. Do you see me right now? Yes. Even if you're not listening, do you see me, those of you up there? Yes. Where do you see me? Just use one hand, one finger, point out where I am.
Yes.
You know I am a mystic from southern India. Right now, this light is falling upon me, reflecting, going to your lenses, inverted image in the retina. Where do you see me right now?
Nice!
Where do you hear me right now? Within yourself. Where have you seen the whole world? Within yourself. Have you ever experienced anything outside of yourself?
No.
So, in search of happiness, if you start digging the world, it's a never-ending digging. So some people were telling me it seems there are some 300 planets, just like planet Earth with the same kind of atmosphere and possibility of life. Some of these planets are 10 times larger than planet Earth. So they want to go there, they must make a mission, unknown planet, whatever. But these planets are approximately 300 million light years away. I said, please, you go. It will solve many problems. But I want to tell you that if these 8 billion people are given one planet each, as long as they are in pursuit of happiness, they will destroy all the 8 billion planets. They will just some time, that's all. That's all.
Yes.
Because what is within you, if you start seeking outside, you will destroy everything. This is all it is. In search of human happiness, this is the consequence we've produced, where the fundamentals of our life is now in a big question. See, man, how many of you have your own children? You can tell me, it's okay. Now, this is not some philosophy, this is not an ideology, this is not a religion. It is intrinsic within you. You want your children to live better than you. Hello? Huh? But with such a wonderful intention, look at the world we're creating. I want you to understand this. Once there are food shortages, our children are not going to live well here. Whatever wealth you have given them, whatever education you have given them, whatever you have given them, our children are not going to live well here because there are certain serious conditions which are evolving very quickly. By 2032, it's expected 3.5 billion people will be water stressed. That means daily drinking water will be a challenge. You think people can live well with that? By 2045, they are saying 40% less food. This is not alarmist philosophy. These are being spoken by very responsible scientists, and I have been in communication and contact with them. They are all just frustrated because nobody listens to them. And when I was in Rome, and all the top scientists, some of the big, large UN agencies related to soil and agriculture all there. And I was talking to this group of scientists who have invested their life in soil studies. So I told them, see, you must excuse me because I'm starting this campaign, and here you have spent your lifetime studying soil. But I'm not only going to make this simple, I'm going to make this simplistic. Is it okay with you? You're not a scientist. But these scientists in one voice, they said, Sadhguru, simplistic is the way forward, because we have produced thousands and thousands of pages of research. Unfortunately, the governments don't read it, agriculture ministries don't read it, even the academics and universities are not reading it. Because about every aspect they have produced hundreds and thousands of pages. Who is there to read it? Because everybody has taken certain things on the planet for granted. One of that is definitely soil. Just 5 months ago, 6 months ago rather, when the world congregated to talk about climate change and global warming, whole world was there for 2 weeks. Everybody responsible in various governments, everybody was there. But after that, I spoke to many environment ministers in the world. Everybody saying, Sadhguru, nobody even mentioned the word soil. Why is it like this? I said, say, I don't want to get into the politics of it. But I'm asking you, do you really believe you can control climate change, you can control global warming without keeping the soil rich and green? Is it possible? I said, no. Then why you didn't talk about it? This is where it is. Fortunately now, in the last few months, the conversation, soil has become part of the conversation. Many nations are beginning to unroll their own kind of soil policies. The United States has invested $8.5 billion for soil regeneration and no-till farming, which is a phenomenal step for them. And UK has invested some $1.3 billion for their cover crop subsidies. Germany has put in $4.5 billion for their similar kind of soil regeneration process, and the EU has unfolded a consultative process to come up with a soil policy because there are so many nations which need to agree to that. And Caribbean nations have been fully active with us, and Guyana has given us 100 square kilometers of land where they want us to demonstrate how this can be done. That's going to happen. India has dedicated 19 crore rupees for regenerating the soil in 13 river basins across the country, which will amount to 67% of India's land or agricultural land. And that's a huge step for India. China is unfolding their own soil policy. So, the world is responding, but the important thing is we must understand in a democratic nation, who are the leaders? You are the leaders. So, it's important that you don't think somebody else is going to do it. I want you to understand the simple mechanics of democracy. We elect somebody who is willing to take the trouble of doing all the things. And we give them, in Nepal it's 5 years. 5 years term? You give them 5 years, in many other nations it's 4 years. But from what I understand, Nepal is generally giving 2 years for their leaders. So if you give them 5 years, I want you to understand the nature of this job. You give them 5 years and they are supposed to do many things. Running a nation is always a complex situation. But if you were the Prime Minister of this country or whatever Minister of this country, would you try to do things which will produce results within 5 years, or would you attempt doing things which will produce results in 10, 15 or 20 years? Please tell me honestly.
5 years.
In 5 years. That's exactly what most governments on the planet are doing. Because not in a single nation, not even in a single nation has ever 60% of population, adult population has stood up and said, we are concerned about the long-term well-being of this nation. We are concerned about the future of our children. Such a thing has never been expressed. In private they will crib, but they have not expressed. All they ask for is, reduce 5 rupees on my gas price. Okay, that will happen. Give me 1% discount on my income tax. Okay, that will happen. But nobody is asking for long-term well-being of the nation. It's time citizens of any mature nation stand up and ask for long-term well-being of your country. This is very, very important. If you don't do that, it's not going to happen, because as you yourself admitted, if you were running the government, you would still try to do things within 5 years, not things which will take more than that. So if the governments have to invest in long-term well-being of the nation, it is very important your voice should be up. Your responsibility is not just vote, your responsibility is your voice. And today, fortunately, because of technology and social media platforms, you can sit at home and raise your voice. You don't have to go stand on the street and do this, all right? Not anymore. You can sit at home and raise your voice. You have a phone with you? Yeah. You have a phone with you? Smartphone or a dumb phone? Smartphone. You call somebody smart only if they're smarter than you. Now, this phone is not just a simple thing for you to send some silly messages. That also you can do. I'm okay with that. But this is the paradox. If you have any sense of love and responsibility in your heart, this is a paradox. Sitting at your home, I'm just saying one of you,